Right now at noon, protesters across the country and the world are demanding urgent action on climate change. We'll hear what local organizers are demanding from Governor Evers and Madison energy companies. And President Trump launching new sanctions against Iran in response to the country's drone attacks on Saudi Arabian oil refineries.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon and happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Mark is off today. He'll be back next week. I'm Josh Breiter. Well, the weekend starting off warm and humid. Meteorologist Chris Reese is here now with your first alert forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Josh. Of course, we have been watching a lot of fog today. That has since lifted. Now we're waiting for the return of full blue sky. Still, there is some cloud cover out there, and things are just a bit hazy, but we are also very mild. 78 degrees right now. Wind still calm. Dew points are nearly at 70. It is incredibly humid, and that's something you're just going to notice all day long. 79 in Janesville right now, Kenosha at 80. The cooler spot would be Wautoma at 69, Camp Douglas also at 72. We've got some added cloud cover. This is from a little line of showers that really fell apart over northeastern Iowa, but the cloud cover has held together. That's what's moved our direction. So we'll continue to see some cloud cover this afternoon, along with maybe a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. I still think most of us will be dry. Look for highs around 82, but Josh will have more rain chances to discuss going into the weekend as we remain unsettled. I'll discuss why that's happening and what comes next week in Maine weather.
Yeah, certainly not feeling like late September, that's for sure.
It is not at all.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in just a little bit. Well, right now, Madison residents are gathering for a climate strike demanding climate action and clean energy. Our Amanda Quintana is live at the Capitol where the rally is about to start. Amanda?
Yeah, Josh, this is really a global movement that they're taking part of here. Rallies are happening across the world. Here in Madison, it's about to start with a concert in just a few minutes. You can see behind me, a lot of people have really started gathering here. They have signs that say, love the world. They have signs that say there's no planet B. This group is demanding Governor Evers declare a state of climate emergency. In just a few minutes, they're scheduled to begin the march to MG&E, where they're demanding the energy provider transition to 100% clean energy by 2030 and dismantle the local coal plants. The group will then come back here to the Capitol. So they're going to march to MG&E, then they're going to march back. And when they're back here, they're going to have some of the local young leaders take the stage. They are going to have some speeches. There's a lot of young leaders that have really been important to organizing this event.
All right, Amanda Quintana live at the state capitol. Amanda, thank you. Youth-led climate strikes are being held in more than 1,000 locations across the United States. In New York City, young people are missing school for the event, gathering in Lower Manhattan, holding signs and chanting. The demonstrations are inspired by teenage Swedish activist Greta Thunberg's Friday for Futures movement.
Today's climate strike in New York City has three main demands. The first one is no fossil fuels in democracy in governments, business, or media. The second one is a just transition to 100% renewable energy. And the third demand is hold polluters accountable.
Today, millions of people around the world are marching. Global organizers say the only way to defeat climate change is if the whole world works together. New at noon, the president has announced new sanctions on Iran's central bank. The U.S. blames Tehran for coordinated drone attacks in Saudi Arabia that knocked out 5% of the world's oil supplies. Rebels in Yemen claim they were behind the attack, but U.S. officials believe it was beyond their capabilities. Trump says the new financial sanctions are severe. Officials believe a peaceful resolution is most likely, but the president will reportedly also consider moving troops and missiles to that region. The Trump administration and Congress are battling over whistleblowers' report claiming President Trump made an inappropriate offer of a foreign leader. Nicole Killian has more details from the White House.
President Trump hosted Australia's Prime Minister at the White House as he comes under scrutiny for his conversations with another foreign leader, now at the center of a whistleblower complaint.
I fight so strongly for this country. It's just another political hack job.
CBS News has learned a call with Ukraine's president is part of a whistleblower's complaint, which the Trump administration has quashed. The acting director of national intelligence is refusing to hand it over to Congress.
That's being withheld from us, and the president's only response is to attack the whistleblower. We're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out what's in that whistleblower complaint.
The Washington Post first reported the complaint, which said the interaction between President Trump and a foreign leader included a promise that was so troubling it prompted the U.S. intelligence official to come forward. The intelligence community inspector general who looked into the claim determined it met the definition of urgent concern. Congress started investigating President Trump's phone call with the Ukrainian president even before the whistleblower complaint was filed. House Democrats are looking into whether the president and his allies set up a quid pro quo demanding Ukraine investigate a 2020 presidential rival in exchange for military aid.
It doesn't matter what I discuss, but I will say this. Somebody ought to look into Joe Biden.
Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal lawyer, admitted he asked the Ukrainian government to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter, who worked for a Ukrainian gas company.
So you did ask Ukraine to look into Joe Biden?
Of course I did.
The Trump administration has been withholding $250 million in military aid for Ukraine, but released the funds last week. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Ukraine said in a statement today that their president will meet with President Trump during a visit to the U.S. next week during the UN General Assembly. Well, happening tomorrow, Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and a host of other music legends will be in Southeast Wisconsin, all to help the farming community. Farm Aid 2019 is tomorrow at Alpine Valley in East Troy. It's the second time the annual festival has been held in America's Dairyland. Tickets are sold out, but you can still watch the concert streaming online and on cable. Meanwhile, a local music promoter is also doing something good for local farmers. Michael Alexander is the entertainment director at the Crystal Grand in Wisconsin Dells. He grew up in Barneveld and knows firsthand the struggles farmers are going through. He says he wanted to do something special for farmers to help take their minds off of things. So he's giving away free tickets to farmers. We have more information about how you can get those tickets up on our website, channel3000.com. More local news now. Fall doesn't officially begin until Monday, but for many locals, it kicks off a few days early. Pumpkin farms are getting ready to welcome their families across our area this weekend. At Schuster's Farm in Deerfield, visitors can get lost in an 8-acre corn maze, take a wagon ride to 14-plus acres of pumpkins, and sample dozens of fresh barnyard treats. Owner Don Schuster says the wet, cold start to the year killed about 20% of this year's pumpkin crop. But after 26 years in business, he knows that won't ruin this fall for him or your family's visit to his farm.
You got to roll with the punches. You can't just, roll over and die just because the parking lot is flooded or you got to close for the weekend. Just the next day is going to be, the sun's going to come out.
This is the third straight year weather has challenged Schuster's Farm. The parking lot there flooded in 2017 and storms closed it for 3 weekends in 2018. To find your nearest pumpkin farm or how you can get tickets to come to Schuster's, all you have to do is download the Channel 3000 mobile app. All right, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Say goodbye to boring dinners and hello to an easy way to impress your family and friends. I promise they'll be impressed. When it comes to making dinner, do you find yourself making the same few things over and over again? If you do, you're not alone. That's why today I want to share with you a fun way to make chicken that is super easy and is anything but boring. We start by pounding 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts until they're about a ½ an inch thick. You want to make sure you cover them with a sheet of plastic before pounding them so your kitchen doesn't get splattered. We spread each breast with a mixture we made by combining some softened cream cheese with a bit of pesto and roasted peppers. Now, we roll these up jelly roll style and secure them with a toothpick. To take these over the top, we coat them with some crushed cornflakes that we mix with some Parmesan cheese and a bit of paprika. When these come out of the oven, which by the way takes less than 30 minutes, are you ever in for a treat? You see, the outside is crispy crunchy and the inside is loaded with a pinwheel of cheesy goodness. To get the recipe for our stuffed chicken roll-ups, all you have to do is go online. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a spirally delicious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Howard, thank you. Still ahead, if you're making your weekend plans, meteorologist Chris Reese is talking some more warmth and humidity as well as the chance for storms. His forecast is next on News 3 Now at noon. Right now, GM is recalling more than 100,000 SUVs for steering problems, and student loan debt is higher than ever before. Here's Diane King Hall with today's Money Watch.
The maker of the AR-15 rifle says it will stop making that weapon for consumers. Citing excess supply, Colt says it is exiting the consumer rifle market, but the company says it still supports the Second Amendment. The AR-15 has come under fire in recent years by gun control advocates who cite the weapons used in mass shootings. GM is recalling another vehicle. The car maker is recalling more than 107,000 small SUVs because a suspension weld can break and lead to steering problems. The recall covers 2015 through 2018 Chevrolet Trax. Student loan debt is now sitting at an all-time high. According to the Institute for College Access and Success, the average grad from the class of 2018 has more than $29,000 in debt. That's up 2% from the class of 2017's debt load. While growth of student loan debt has begun to slow, college affordability remains a critical challenge. And Candytopia is setting up shop at select Toys R Us this fall as part of its retail resurgence. The maker of the candy-based art exhibits will launch pop-ups in Toys R Us stores in Chicago and Atlanta next month and other cities next year. The collaboration will feature Candytopia's interactive exhibits filled with life-sized candy sculptures, marshmallow pits, and disco castles. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
And let's take a look at Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow is up 48 points, NASDAQ down 25, and S&P down 5. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee is out of the radio barn today, so here are your latest farm numbers. Meteorologist Chris Reese now with a look at your weekend forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Josh. One of the things I want to start off with is just the fact that things are so much warmer than they normally are for this time of the year. On average, we'd see temperatures right now into the upper 60s. Our normal high would be 70. We're going above that today. We are shooting for the low 80s. Our normal low, get this, is into the 40s, and we only cooled down towards 63 this morning. 78 already right now, so we are certainly well above that average. A calm wind, but once the wind gets going, it's going to be coming out of the south. Dew points are into the upper 60s. So this is a weather pattern that is a lot more out of, say, June or July at this point. 79 in Janesville right now. Mineral Point at 77. Lone Rock at 75. Things are just a couple degrees warmer as you work your way down towards the lakeshore. Our friends in Kenosha have made it towards 80 degrees now. Here are those dew points. Check out the dew points into the upper 60s and even the low 70s. Folks, when your dew points are that warm, this is when it's just uncomfortable to be outside, especially if the sun is shining and there's moisture in the air, and all that fog that we had earlier is essentially just going to make that worse. But the good news is we are dry. There is some cloud cover that's moved in. This is from this dissipating line of showers throughout northeastern Iowa that's moved towards southwest Wisconsin. Our atmosphere is just nowhere near as conducive as the atmosphere was for storms across Iowa this morning. That is why I'm fairly certain most of us will stay dry, but I can't rule out at least a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm. We are humid, though. That has been what has been driving our weather pattern for a long time. High pressure down in the southeastern part of the country has been funneling in a lot of moisture, and tropical moisture at that, as we had a tropical system make landfall in southeastern Texas. That's a large reason as to why there's so much moisture in the atmosphere. But we're going to be watching this cold front gradually work its way our direction towards the weekend. It's got some cooler temperatures along with some drier air behind it as well. One of the things I want to point out, though, is the fact that the western part of the country is indeed cooler. That's snow flying over the mountains of Wyoming. Of course, we are nowhere near cold enough for that. But as that front gets oh so close to Wisconsin, we're going to be staying unsettled as we head into the weekend. A strong southerly wind. Notice that none of the days are washouts by any means. I don't expect any washouts, but we'll stay unsettled with that slight shower chance at times going through your Saturday. The best rain chance will be overnight Saturday into Sunday, and then we'll actually dry out. By the time we get you into Monday, I do think some sunshine will be taking over our weather pattern. And that's going to be certainly a welcome change. But for this afternoon, look for highs right around 82. We'll cool down overnight into the 60s. Again, some isolated showers can't be ruled out. We'll notice more cloud cover Saturday, and then Saturday night into Sunday will likely be the best chance to see some rain. But we do get cooler behind that front. Here's a little shot of some cooler air that comes on in. It just doesn't last long. That funnels on out of here. We'll get another shot of some cooler air, especially towards next weekend. But then watch the warmth take back over as a lot of the colder air stays on the western half of the country. This means we're going to be staying above average and warmer and wetter than average as we go through time as well. So more rain chances will likely be showing up, but from Monday through Friday, it's going to be a good stretch of weather, folks. Enjoy it.
I keep thinking that I want some cooler weather, but at the same time, I'm trying to take all this in because it's not going to last forever.
It doesn't last forever. So for me, I feel like I'm just ready to let's go. Let's go ahead and get it over with. If we're going to go through it, let's go.
All right. Chris, thank you.
My pleasure.
Coming up next, a full circle moment for a Milwaukee man. He goes before the judge who sentenced him to jail decades ago, but now they're meeting for a much happier reason. Keep watching News 3 Now at noon. A Wisconsin man was sentenced to almost 50 years in jail for the deaths of 4 people. He was back in court in front of the same judge this week, but instead of waiting for a conviction, he was ready for a celebration. Here's Tony Atkins.
To have and to hold. For this day forward.
Ramiah Whiteside was serving a much different role in Judge David Hansher's courtroom on Wednesday.
I won't be able to bring these people back, but I'm sorry.
His voice cracking during his 1995 sentencing, apologizing for this crash, leading police on a chase, and killing 4 people waiting at a Silver Spring bus stop. Whiteside was sentenced to the maximum of 47 years.
It's my pleasure and honor and my privilege to pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Now out on parole, Whiteside married his fiancée Carla, and asked that same judge who sentenced him to perform the wedding.
It was kind of spontaneous, but I planned on doing it because for me, that's full circle.
Judge Hansher was told about Whiteside's progress years after the sentencing. The two began writing each other, and Hansher eventually pushed for Whiteside's parole.
You know, I hear so many people down here saying, I'm sorry. Sorry does not change anything.
Lucy Ferris's son, Clifton, was one of 4 people killed. We told her about Whiteside's wedding and the progress he's made, and she says time has allowed her to forgive and even wishes Whiteside the same love she once experienced with her son she lost many years ago.
And I pray that he will enjoy the blessing of his family, because I've learned to be thankful to God for what he gave me. And that was 19 years, 6 days, 12 hours, and so many minutes of life with my son.
Clifton, Kim, Petey, and Roger, they deserve the second chance.
Whiteside acknowledged that it is impossible to reverse what happened, but he said he plans to dedicate the rest of his life to positively impacting the lives of others. All right, over to Chris Reese now with a final look at your forecast. Chris?
Hey, Josh. Hey, gang. At home, we are still going to see the dry weather really prevail as we go through today. Yes, there are some clouds. There's an isolated shower chance. But again, look for temperatures warming up towards 82. The better rain chances would be Saturday and Sunday. Not washouts, but the rain chances are there. But then all of next week looks fairly nice.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here on Live at 4.